Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaimudire. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Tattudunmuditam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishecha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavatam Canto 4 Chapter 20. Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaja. Maitreya Uvacha Bhagavan api Vaikuntha Sakam Maghavata Vibhuhu Yagne Yagnapadistito Yagnabhuktam Abhashata. Great, said Maitreya continued. Here Vidura, being very much satisfied by the performance of 99 horse sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, appeared on the scene. Accompanying him was King Indra. Lord Vishnu then began to speak. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Yesha te karshid bhangam ayamedhasya tasyaha samapayata atmanam amushyak santum arhasi. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, My dear King Prthu, Indra, the King of Heaven, has disturbed your execution of 100 sacrifices. Now he has come with me to be forgiven by you. Therefore, excuse him. In this verse, the word Atmanam is very significant. It is a custom among yogis and jnanis to address one another or even an ordinary man as oneself. For a transcendentalist never accepts a living being to be the body. Since the individual self is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the self and the super self are qualitatively non-different. And the next verse will explain the body is only a superficial covering, and consequently an advanced transcendentalist will not make a distinction between oneself and another. Other point here is Vishnu is saying that he has come to be forgiven by you. Please excuse him. Therefore, excuse him. Sudhiya sadhavo loke naradeva narotamaha nabi drushyanti bhutebhyo yarrinatma kalevaram. O King, one who is advanced in intelligence and eager to perform welfare activities for others is considered best among human beings. An advanced human being is never malicious to others. Those with advanced intelligence are always conscious that this material body is different from the soul. In daily life, we find that when a madman commits murder, he is excused even by a high court judge. The idea is that a living entity is always pure because he is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. When he falls into the clutches of material energy, he becomes a victim of the three modes of material nature. Indeed, whatever he does under the influence of material nature. Bhagavad Gita 5.14. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya sujati prabhu. Na karma phala samyogam svabhavastu pravartate. The embodied spirit does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. So, na karma kartrutvam, na karmani. So, there is no karma. Atma doesn't do karma. It doesn't induce others to do karma, nor does it create karma phala. All of this is done by the modes of nature. What does Atma do? It only desires. Actually, the living entity or soul does not do anything. Everything is done under the influence of the modes of material nature. When a man is deceased, the symptoms of the deceased become a source of all kinds of pain. Those who are advanced in transcendental consciousness or Krishna consciousness are never envious, neither of the soul or nor of the activities of the soul under the influence of material nature. Advanced transcendentalists are called Sudhiyaha. Sudhi means intelligence. Sudhi means highly advanced. And Sudhi means devotee. One who is both devoted and highly advanced in intelligence does not take does not take action against the soul or the body. If there's any discrepancy, forgives. He said that forgiveness is quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. Ah, heavy purport. Okay. Everything is done under the influence of the modes of material nature, right? When a man is diseased, the symptoms of the disease become a source of all kinds of pain. Those who are advanced in transcendental consciousness are never envious, neither of the soul nor of the activities of the soul under the influence of material nature. So right now, the activities of the soul is under the influence of material nature because it has contaminated consciousness. And the soul is originally pure consciousness, but when it comes in the material world, under the control of the three modes, the consciousness of the soul is contaminated. Of course, the soul had the desire, had a contaminated desire, so it was put into this environment where it cannot escape the contamination, and that contamination is provided by modes of nature, right? And so the activities of the soul here, they happen under the influence of material nature. Hmm. Now advanced devotee, they are not envious. Advanced transcendentalists are called Sudhiyaha. Sudhi means intelligence, highly advanced devotee. One who is intelligent, highly advanced devotee does not take action against the soul or the body. If there is any discrepancy, he forgives. So if anybody is doing anything wrong towards a devotee, he will simply forgive. So difficult. Forgiveness is a quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. So the only point to consider here is when it is against Krishna or Krishna's devotee, then devotee doesn't keep quiet. But when it is with respect to his own existence, then he forgives. You should not react. You should not try to um, retort, right, or give back. So two things here. One is we should remember Atma. Yeah, nothing is being done directly by the Atma. It's all being done under the influence of material nature. And under the influence of material nature, the Atma is also desiring more material, material things only, right? So, and that is being carried out by the modes. But the Atma also has the can desire spiritual. And when will the Atma desire spiritual? When it hears. So Shravanam is important to wake up the soul from the slumber. Mm. And then once it desires, then the whole process is to get free from the modes because it's already caught up in the modes. Now our effort is to Traigunya Vishaveda Nistraigunya Bhavardhana, is to become free from the modes because everything is being done by the modes. So we have to become free from the modes. Uh, so that is the whole process. And bhakti, the power of bhakti is that it enables us to become free from the modes. So that is one part. The other part is that one has to forgive. It's so difficult. Actually, I was just thinking. Yesterday was there was one section in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is one is Bhakti Vikas Maharaj sends one email every day, and mostly it's mostly it only quotes from Prabhupada from his books, etc. So yesterday he had sent this Madhya Leela, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, saying that what is the, where is that email? Let me read the email 1 second. How to chant to awaken prema. Visible, yeah. ये रूपे लोइले नाम प्रेम उपजाए ताहार लक्षण सुनो Swarup Ram Rai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, O Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, hear from me the symptoms of how one should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to awaken very easily one's dormant love of Krishna. To awaken very easily. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saishnu Namani Namana Dena Kirtanya Sadhari. So one who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and it does not expect personal honor, but is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. And it's not about just chanting holy name of the Lord always. And one who chants like this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, he awakened very easily one's dormant love for Krishna. So I was just thinking, saying that, that this is the most important thing. And literally, and I was just trying to think, saying that how 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 do we actually, how do we become Trinadapi? Mm, how do we develop these qualities? Trinadapi, Sunichena, humility, uh, then tolerance, and then respect to other, respect for all jivas. How do we develop these qualities? Anybody wants to, any thoughts? Right. So what is my question? My question is that so here also in this verse there is forgiveness. Now for all this we have to be in this humble state of mind. Otherwise we think we are something very great, and so we are always in this mode of protecting ourselves, our pride and honor and this and that and all that. And then connecting this with this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that how does one very easily develop love for Krishna is by living this verse, Trinada Pisunichana. So what should we do? How do we develop these qualities? What should we do? Any thoughts? Yeah,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanur Pranam.
yeah.
Prabhuji, thinking that whatever false ego we have, that is not our real self. And whenever some action happens from the opposite party or the persons whom we deal with, we should not consider them as bodies, as we should consider them as spirit souls. If we keep on remembering this every time when we deal with them, initially we might commit mistakes, but then we should retrospect and then feel guilty whenever we retaliate, and then slowly and slowly, hopefully, if we surrender to Krishna more, then we can come to that stage.
Okay, I mean, how many devotees here have been able to? Okay, so let me put it this way, right? For some devotees, it's maybe natural to be humble, right? Some devotees are by nature, as in by their material nature only, they're humble, and that becomes very helpful in progress of bhakti, right? And for those who have not been humble in their life, meaning for those who have not had these qualities ever in their life so far, these three qualities, has anybody here tried to develop the quality that is not intrinsic to us, meaning this being humble is not intrinsic to me, and just by gnana, by knowledge, has anybody, any devotee here been able to change his ways by just knowledge?
No, no. I fail every time.
No. So what is the answer? So my question is saying that now we don't have this humility, we don't have this tolerance, we don't have this, um, this wanting to honor others even though they are dishonoring us. We don't have these qualities in us, and we are not able to just by knowledge, by hearing, saying that okay, this is these three are the most important qualities to develop love of Krishna. Even with that knowledge, how much will we be able to control ourselves in situations and actually develop these qualities?
I think very little, bro, like almost impossible.
Okay, so yeah, okay, Vamshi Prabhu, Shashank Prabhu, you had your hands up. What do you think? Yeah,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
yeah,
Uh, Serving Vaishnavas
okay,
is one way to bring humbleness in us.
okay, okay, yeah,
Uh,
okay, good,
Hare
yeah,
Krishna Prabhu.
yeah.
Indulging in service of Krishna Seva,
No,
whatever
we
the
are doing
service.
Krishna Seva. We are doing Krishna Seva. Not that we are not doing Krishna Seva, but
Mm.
will it bring about that all these qualities? What needs to be done? Yeah, what you are saying is correct. It's not that it's not correct, but is there like, okay, let me put it this way. Shashank Prabhu is uh, he's new, relatively new in Krishna consciousness, and he's being very sincere in his what he's doing, and possibly he's experiencing, saying that okay, by being sincere and getting more and more involved in service, maybe he's developing some of these qualities. But I also see his nature is generally seems like he's more of a humble person only. Mm, yeah, not arrogant. Anybody here who's arrogant before coming to Krishna consciousness? I'm lifting my hand, though I
I'm
can't.
still arrogant, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm still, but definitely like super arrogant, super
Yeah,
proud.
I'm in that category.
Yeah. So if anybody like who had these qualities before, and now after coming to Krishna consciousness, if anything has changed, what has it been? What has been the trigger that has changed you?
Pranam Prabhuji, can
Hey,
I say like I in
one second, Mataji. So many people who have lifted their hands. Okay, you can also lift your hand. I don't know why everybody is no. Okay, yeah. Who's amongst these? Vamshi Prabhu, your hand is still up.
No, Prabhu. No, Prabhu. I'm
Okay,
done.
then you can put on your hand. Okay, Ashwini Mataji, Shruti Mataji,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
For me, before coming to Krishna conscious, too much of angry, Prabhu.
Okay,
I was
okay,
too much of angry, and as I was doing Shravanam, so
it
now
helped.
my anger, yeah,
Okay,
yes,
very
Prabhu.
good.
Now I can control my anger.
Excellent. Okay, very nice. Yeah, Shruti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Arrogance, yes, Prabhu. I had a lot of it before. And once I started to read and listen Srila Prabhupada's lectures and books, I got to know the ultimate truth that this is nothing and we are nothing. We are just, we are not just this body.
Mm-hmm.
And all these while, I used to see the other person as body. And even a little bit of intolerance, I used to just yell and I used to get angry. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'm not there yet, but I am trying to get there.
Okay,
Um,
very nice. So both Matajis are saying that Shravanam has actually helped them. Okay, nice. Okay. Yeah, Ruchira Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. With me also, it's been like with Shravanam, like hearing Guru Maharaj, purity comes. And when we I can't say we advance, but when we gradually progress in devotional service, these qualities come up, and we realize that what is our, like, as Mataji said, like we are just a tiny speck of dust, like in millions of universes. So we become humble. But Prabhuji, I have a question, like with persons who blaspheme devotees or who are not conducive to, not favorable and antagonist, I can't develop a very good attitude. Like, although I forgive them, but there is some kind of malice in my heart. How do
Mm-hmm.
I get rid of that also? I'm not able to overcome that. There
Okay.
is some grudge with like regarding people who say something about devotional service or who just don't understand things. So
Okay. I don't know because I'm not qualified to answer that. No, I mean I'm still stuck here saying that so I'm just thinking. I was just introspecting about this yesterday when I read these words, and I said like, okay, I've been now doing this
and
process. Uh, yeah, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I feel that when the situation is adverse, then you develop these qualities. For me, this
Okay.
has been, yeah,
Yeah.
because in adversity, like, although I was not so arrogant, I don't know, but I was like a simple and but this, like, trials and adverse situations, when you face so much like problems in your devotion service, then you develop these qualities.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. With
yeah,
me, it
exactly.
happened.
Yeah, no, that is what it is. So that's what I was coming to saying that, by Shravanam, possibly, see, the way it works is based on how we are positioned, how deeply we are stuck in some of these anarthas. Some anarthas go away very easily, right? Like some devotees, yeah, talked about anger going away, this something else, blah blah. Few of our anarthas, based on how we are positioned, like what our past has been, etc., etc. So some anarthas go away very quickly without much effort, right? And yeah, and if relatively purer jiva, right, purer jiva has lesser headache, less difficulty to overcome anartha. So then by just simply the process of shravanam and doing regulative, following regulative principles, doing bhakti, they will they they will overcome. They will develop these qualities. Now for the at least the demon like me, um, yeah, I think it seems like very difficult, that just by Shravanam, I've not been able to overcome all my anarthas, even after not just Shravanam and Kirtanam, right? Uh, Over last 14-15 years, I've not been able to overcome. And I was thinking, saying that for like these kind of difficult, hopeless cases, what is what is Krishna? How does Krishna help? Right? And it's what Ruchira Mataji is saying, going through difficulty, right? So I realized that the only way actually that I will learn, because I'm so stubborn, um, hard-headed, that only looks like difficulties only is the way. So yeah, so lesson that we can learn is, if in case we can, if we don't want suffering in our life, then we can be intelligent enough and just say, okay, like, no, I don't want to, I don't want to suffer. Okay, let me just learn the easier way. Let me just do Shravanam and learn, right? Just hear and then learn and change my ways. Then we are very fortunate. Then we should focus on, yeah, keeping some of these qualities away, doing our bhakti nicely, and then yeah, we will get the power to overcome those. But if suppose say we are not able to do that, then we should be ready for a little bit of difficulty in life. And that too only if we desire to develop these good qualities, and our anarthas are too deep, too strong, then the only possibility is suffering. Very difficult, isn't it?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. If
Hmm.
it is chanting also, it will be 50%, it will be reduced. Then Shravanam,
Yeah, but chanting, if you're doing offensively, nothing will happen. I mean, very
nothing will
little effect
appear.
will happen. If you do
Yes,
offensive chanting, then you see, we should understand chanting is, is a solution to all problems, but that is only
yes,
offenseless chanting,
uh,
not offensive chanting. If you're doing with Namaparada, then very little progress will happen.
yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Is this Sumantra Mataji? She said, who has a hand up?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, you said you're not here till
Yeah,
23rd. You gave us a surprise.
I'm not in station, Prabhu. I'm still
Okay.
not in station.
Yeah.
Like, Hare Krishna. Prabhu,
Yeah.
the attitude, like your anger and all, it affects your bhakti also, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Like,
Correct.
and it's your state of mind, your short-temperedness,
Yeah.
your chanting also, everything is affected. Like,
Correct.
and over the period, like I'm quite a short-tempered person. Over the period of time, and you understand it's not good. There are certain things that you're dwelling in the past, and you understand, but your response to it and your reaction to it, however much I try, Prabhu, and especially I see it with Ankul. I'm very, very short tempered with him. Like, maybe you think he's, like it is. With others, it's still better. And that inborn character of yours is I find it very difficult to,
Correct.
even
Yeah.
with reading, even with serving, even having serve, but with devotees, the attitude is much calmer, much more, penetrating, much more absorbing. But I,
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know if he sees a change in me, but I've become over the few years, I've become more sensitive now. Like I cry even over small this thing with him. Otherwise, I'm quite bold. I speak my mind. I don't say I'm Prabhu. I'm like a worm in the stool. No, I'm not. I have my opinion. But Prabhu, itna chanting sunti hu my classes bhi.
Mm.
Maybe the chanting is not offenseless. Maybe that is the cause. But I don't find, like I see others who are very humble, they are patient. Patience is one thing which is required, like which solves a lot of problem, I think. How you react, how you're able to take the, like dukha and sukha is also a very, very important thing. I feel this, I may be wrong, Prabhu, but the classes,
No,
I
I mean
think
that's what we
the
are discussing.
classes,
Yeah, we are
especially for
all.
me, the classes especially for me today.
No, it's always been for me. Yeah, who's the double iPhone double now?
Oh, Hare Krishna, is it me, Prabhu? I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's
Hare
you.
Krishna, Pranam,
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Pranam Mataji. Yeah, please come.
Prabhu, I think my personal experience is that prayers to Nityanand Prabhu,
Okay.
it helps a lot because we know about our shortcomings. We know that
Okay.
where we are lacking, the
Okay.
quality which we cannot able to develop as a devotee.
Okay.
And if continuously, intensely we pray,
Okay.
I don't know, Prabhu, definitely Nityanand Prabhu helps, but
Mm.
I feel we are also aware of that shortcoming.
Mm.
And that helps when such a situation arises. And maybe at that moment we will not act properly, but
Mhm.
later on we will definitely think about it, that I've
Okay.
done wrong, and next time it will help in a similar situation.
Okay.
So this is one thing, Prabhu, which
Okay, your realization. Okay.
yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yeah, Prabhu.
No, Proja, I was just driving, so I just switched on so that I can
Okay.
speak in case. Yeah.
Okay.
Bro,
Okay.
I could not hear Ruchira Mataji's question's answer, which you were answering. Sorry, my network was bad. Can you
Okay.
please summarize
No.
that?
Yeah, so I'm just summarizing now whatever discussion we've had, all whatever devotees have shared so far. So one is the looks like, yeah, for many devotees Shravanam itself works. And that means that the anarthas really they have is or they are much more conducive or favorable kind of situation that their anarthas are going away just by Shravanam. And the sadhana that they are doing, the seva that they are doing, etc. So many of them, and which is what Shastra also says, saying that if we sincerely do, sadhana, then these good qualities should develop in us automatically. But some of us have also experienced in our life saying that just by Shravanam, some things have gone, some things have not gone. And so these are deeper anarthas. Now for these deeper anarthas, so two paths we heard. One is Narayani Mataji saying that prayers to specifically Nityananda Prabhu. Yeah, so we are introspective, we are conscious about our wrong, about our qualities, not so good qualities, and then we are praying very intensely. And then over a period of time things will kind of iron out. And the other, which is Ruchira Mataji's experience and my experience, more has been suffering. um, Suffering turns things around for us, at least very very hard, stubborn anarthas seem to be going only by constant suffering, continuous suffering. um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is the summary of what we've discussed. But uh,
Okay. Okay. Bro. Yeah.
right, and the important thing I want to just point out, saying that, see, irrespective whatever path is working for us, it's fine. All we have to remember is, even if we are in the midst of difficulties, and the difficulties are there every day there are tests to test us, whether we are Pranadapi, whether we are Taroriva Sahishnuna, whether we are Amanina Manadena. Every day there are opportunities. Every day, every moment, we seem to have opportunities to test us on these qualities. And we should
Yeah.
remember that all these opportunities, even though they might seem adverse, or they might seem unfavorable, or they might seem like an inconvenience or a pain, they're all just, opportunities for us to develop these qualities. So if there is a little bit of pain, we should just understand and accept this as mercy. That it's actually Krishna who's giving us this opportunity to actually develop these qualities. Which is why
Yeah.
in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, wear this verse as a like a what is that? Ornament around your neck, like a necklace around your neck, he said. Why necklace around the neck? Because it's always there, it's always visible. Meaning we have to be always conscious about this verse all the time, in all situations, and see every situation which is helping us to develop these qualities as favorable.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Um, but really, I mean, if I have to just summarize, like our whole life existence right now is to just develop these qualities. Because there's nothing else that is actually required at all or important at all for us. It's only these qualities that we have to develop. Because if we develop these qualities, automatically we become qualified to develop love of Krishna.
Yeah.
Right. So even if you forget all of Shastra, because yesterday when I read this, it just, I couldn't take my mind off this email. Um, Saying that we've been hearing this for so many years, trying, etc. But still, I was feeling so helpless, saying that I'm so far away from actually coming to this state, and then what to speak of love of Krishna. So I
Yeah.
think we should just all of us, meditate on this verse, and either by Shravanam get over our anarthas, or by prayers, or by whatever suffering we are going through in our lives, small, big, ugly, whatever it is, just somehow try to develop these qualities, because without this, and that's why I said, see, when some devotees are very, they are gifted with some of these qualities. They are naturally not so arrogant, you know so much full of pride, and so much full of anger and this and that and all that. Now, of course, some of these qualities also are required in some situations. Um, for example, somebody who's very humble, now he or she might not be able to push forward the Hare Krishna movement, right? Because the ISKCON movement requires leaders, and it's generally in nature of leaders, Kshatriya, to have these qualities. Because if these qualities are not there, it's very difficult to push forward the movement. Now, so which is why sometimes it's so difficult that you have to push forward the movement at the same time develop these qualities. Though to push forward the movement, these qualities at some level might be required, especially greenfield opportunities, like some starting some preaching newly somewhere, etc. These things require a lot of these characteristics, right? But then it's also not, it's required but not required, right? It's required maybe, but then it's also important that we develop the strength to put it, to invoke it when required, kind of situation. um,
Yeah.
so it's very, very important. I mean, I'm just spending too much time on this, but I think it's the most important thing. If at all we have to spend our energies on something, is to develop these qualities. Because if we don't develop these qualities, we will see that we should understand this verse means false ego, right? And false ego means that obviously we will end up doing namaprada, will end up doing offenses. So it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. It can actually really badly affect us. So somehow, we should pray. Yeah, like Mataji said, we can pray to Nityanand Prabhu for mercy, that we are Jagais and Madais, and beyond mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and only Nityanand Prabhu can give us, and
Yeah.
really put effort to overcome these really bad qualities, because otherwise we can't. We are going to be here. We're going to remain here.
Yeah. Prabhuji, I
Yeah.
have a realization of mine.
Mm.
I think
in my behavior, I've realized that I have too much attachment to correct the reverses, and in that momentum, I end up offending sometimes and all that, and later on, I regret also. Every time I regret. So then, one realization is in mine is that whenever I read Prabhupada's purpose, that anyways this material world is temporary. So whatever reverses you will be able to correct, that is also temporary. So why to bother much about correcting the reverses every time, and not basically taking it as a thinking that maybe this reaction is happening for my purification, and maybe this is a karma phala. But that realization doesn't come that at that moment. It comes after the retaliation happens. So that is one thing which we should maybe contemplate. And another thing is, whenever these things happen, then in my opinion it happens because of excessive false ego for some of the devotees. So just wanted to take your suggestions here, that what can we do to reduce this excessive false ego? Maybe that might help.
Yeah, anybody wants to answer? I am the one with false ego, so I can't answer this question. Yeah, others? Anybody wants to answer? Okay, no answer, Prabhu. Sorry. See, I think this topic is it requires a lot of deep introspection, right? Like, we have false ego, we have big fat false ego. What can you do? I mean, the only thing that yeah, again, we should try these two. The new approach, or the one which uh, drew my attention, was the prayer to Nityananda Prabhu. So I think we should try that. Those suffering with this problem, that not able to develop these qualities, we'll start praying, and yeah, that is one thing which will definitely work. If we are not sincere enough to pray, then we will have to take the difficult route, which is suffering, right? So maybe we should try this. We should do take this continuous prayers to Nityanand Prabhu, and beg for mercy. Okay, so I'll conclude the discussion. Thank you all for actively sharing your thoughts. Yeah, so we can stop here unless somebody has
Hare
anything
Krishna
to
Prabhu.
share. Yeah.
I had a question, if we can, or I can ask
Yeah.
later on.
Yeah, you can ask.
So, Prabhu, with respect to Trunadapi Sunicena as a uh, character, so sometimes in the material world, being so humble, people also take it in a wrong way, or they take it as an advantage, right? And also in the leadership, being in the leadership sometimes, or like some of the people who are whose work is accountable by my side, so we may have to be a little bit aggressive there. So how do we strike a balance there, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Is that okay to
That is
be?
okay. That is Narada Muni telling that snake, saying that snake became, the story, snake became a devotee by Narada
Hmm.
Muni's preaching, and then
Okay.
snake stopped, said, like, be non-violent. So snake stopped its natural ways, and then other people started troubling the snake, almost even hitting, etc., etc. And then snake comes to Narada Muni and says, what should I do? So Narada Muni says, just hiss, just open your mouth, but don't bite. That's good enough to keep them at bay, right? So which means that this is one thing we have to understand, saying that if our job requires us to get things done, maybe at times this might be required, but this shouldn't be a normal feature, that we're always shouting at our reportees to get stuff done, which means then they don't really have, I mean, we have the wrong people, right? And then look at rehiring, hire other people, etc. Sometimes it might be required, like the snake, but it shouldn't become a normal common feature that it is happening all the time. Now that is the second answer, second part of your question. First part of question, people take advantage. We should always remember saying that, see, we should not be so naive. Prabhupada never liked devotees being very naive. You know, he used to really scold his disciples when it came to dealing with, you know, like when they're constructing temples and so much of monetary loss happened because somebody cheated them, etc. Prabhupada used to get very irate. He used to say, "You people are fools, idiots. You can't understand." Right? He used to be very, very hard on the devotees. Right? So we have to understand. See, practically, when we are dealing with this world, we have to make sure that we protect Krishna's interests, meaning our interests, ISKCON's interests, etc., and not just become so naive that people just walk all over us. But at the same time, this shouldn't become our permanent feature. It shouldn't become our feature. Like it's not like we are not this. I mean, you have to deal with this world. Sometimes this might be required. That's all. Right? But and yeah, in long run, these positions are not good. To remain in such positions is not good unless you are able to overcome, you know, your natural. Like for example, you're in a leadership position in a company, and it always requires you to be saying lies. For example, yeah, I mean, I was in sales role for some time, and I just couldn't because it just I couldn't deal with it at all. Right? Then I came out of that job. So it depends, right? Like if in leadership position and always you have to, you know, do politics and this and that and diplomacy and all that, it's not good for devotees. So then anukulisa sankalpa pratikulisa varjanam, you should look at changing your job in the long run. None of these should be done whimsically, but you should not be constantly in environment which is pushing you in a wrong direction. This is very, very important. Right? Now I see there is no situation really pushing me in the wrong direction. Still my anarthas are strong, so strong that I'm struggling to overcome. Right? Now just imagine if situations are also so unfavorable, right, that they're pushing us in the wrong direction, what will be our state? So obviously that's pratikulisa varjanam. So we have to give up such situations, but not whimsically, not like, yeah. So those are two things I can think of. Your question.
Understood, Prabhu. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you like regarding suffering, many times, Prabhu, when you're suffering, you become more aggressive. You become more like I can't use the word cruel.
Harsh.
You're harsh. Yes, like you said, it makes you more this thing, but like with I suppose
Yeah.
with different people it works
One
differently.
caveat there, Mataji, is it depends on how much time you have suffered. Meaning, if you have suffered constantly, continuously without any solution, then initially it will be anger, then it will be frustration, it will be pingala. Right? Now, if one is unfortunate that they are getting solutions to their problems, they're unfortunate because they're getting solutions to their problems. And therefore, they're not able to go the Pingala way, meaning it's not leading them to that level of renunciation. Which means suffering is there, not little, but maybe little more, but not enough to develop that vairagya, right? Then, yeah, then it's not helpful. So this suffering should be extreme, right? It should take us such that repeated suffering without solution. And then we feel helpless, and then we depend on Krishna, and then we say, okay, I'm useless. I now realize that I'm really nobody, and it all depends on you now. And then humility has to develop, because now our own self-esteem or false ego, whatever it is crushed. We couldn't do anything about it. Normally, this is how it should work.
In that way, it's very difficult, probably. We can't survive till there.
Okay, then we'll take the other route. Right? Pray to Nityananda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
I just know Prabhuji was asking as a leader.
Hmm.
Actually, generally, I also face this type of questions, actually. Something. But I politely tell them, don't think I do not understand what you are doing. I am not a 15 years or 18 boy. You are just making me round. I said I am 70-year-old. I understand what you want to say and what you are doing, actually. But don't try to be over smart with me. You just straight talk to me. So if he can speak on those in soft way to his coordinates, yes, I understand. Please don't try to be kind of over smart kind of in group actually. So this is like this is there, but kind of I overlook sometimes. That's the issue actually. Kind of
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anugul Prabhu by nature is is always smiling, and so I think it's much it's easier for him to possibly deal with situations. And yeah, he's saying his whole experience, life experience, he can see through people's their behavior, and he knows what they're trying to do. So it's much easier. And of course, because of his advancement in Krishna consciousness, he'll be in self-control. So it's much easier. Yeah. So this we should all the others here in the group should hope that sometime in our life we can also become leaders like with those qualities. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Yeah. So anything else? Anybody? Hare Krishna. Anything else anybody wants to say? Okay, we can close. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Cha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat to